Wait, I literally don't even remember what happens in this one. My name is Aelin Ashriver Galathinius, and I will not be afraid. What is her name? Briarcliff. Ansel. Os? Abraxos? 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 Okay. Whew. Today, I want to talk about something that is so near and dear to my heart. It is my favorite series of all time, and that is Throne of Glass. Shock. I actually don't think I've ever done this, but today I'm going to rank the Throne of Glass books in order of my least favorite to my favorite. Going to preface that by saying that all of these books were 4 or 5 star reads for me, so they're all amazing. There's definitely some that stand out more than others. Coming in last place, which again, it's still a great book, so it's fine, but my least favorite of the series was Throne of Glass itself. There's nothing wrong with this book, okay? It's great. It's honestly great, but this book is so much set up for the rest of the series that it falls a little bit short, and it is a little bit boring. I'm actually re-listening to this, well, not re-listening, rereading, but listening to the audiobook for the first time, and I'm in this one right now, and it is dragging a little bit. It's great. It's just kind of slow, but I think it's because there's so much setup happening. There's so much world building. There's so much introduction to characters that this one, it goes at the bottom of the list, and that's fine. It was still 4 stars for me, but bottom. So next, and again, a lot of it was because it was still setting up the series, kind of. Crown of Midnight. Wait, I don't even remember what happens in this. Wait. Is this what I think it is? Is this the one that I think it is? Wait, I literally don't even remember what happens in this one. This is number 8 because I actually don't remember what happens in it. I know that it was good. I know that I liked it. I know that it had more action than the first one, than Throne of Glass, but I don't remember. I thought I did, but I actually don't think I do. Oh, Okay, yes. Now I remember a little bit. Okay. This is so bad. It's the way that I flew through this series, and I don't remember any of the specifics of each book. I just remember the plot as a whole. This one is still number 8. It's great. There's a lot of action, but again, it's still kind of setting up plot and still kind of world building and still kind of introducing you to the larger plot as a whole. So because of that, it's going at number 8. Honestly, it's a miracle if you even take these rankings seriously, because my memory can't be trusted. At number 7, this book is a controversial one-ish, and there's 2 that it could be, but maybe it's not the one you think, because people either love it or they hate it. Tower of Dawn comes in at number 7. Listen, the end of this book, amazing. A majority of it, though, some might say boring. I did the tandem read, which I think if you are reading Throne of Glass and you're debating whether or not to do the tandem read, I think if you aren't daunted, is that a word? If doing the tandem read isn't daunting for you, I would recommend doing it, because Empire of Storms leaves off on a cliffhanger, a big one, and you're not going to want to read all of this knowing that cliffhanger. But also, the stories are happening at the same time, and Empire of Storms kind of alternates between different people's views. So really, you're just kind of adding a couple more viewpoints into that, back and forth. So if you are doing the tandem read, I did the tandem read, and I just felt that when I got to these parts, when I got to reading the Tower of Dawn chapters, I was oh my god, I don't care about Chaol. I just want to go back to Aelin and Manon and Elide. I want to go back to those people. I don't want to read Chaol's point of view. I'm sorry, I don't. So I love him. I really love Yrene. I didn't care about this book until the last 100 pages, so that's why it's going 7th. 8th, 7th, 6th. Just kidding, not 6th. 5th? Yeah. Coming in at 5th place is the other controversial book that I feel very strongly about. Assassin's Blade. If you haven't read this book, what are you doing? If you skipped this book, you are doing something wrong, because if you care at all about Sam Cortland, you need to read this book. You absolutely need to read this book. If you also don't understand Sam Cortland, you don't get the hype about Sam Cortland, read this freaking book, okay? This book is so important to understanding the plot, It's so important to understanding Celaena's like emotional turmoil in the first few books, and honestly, that doesn't go away. Every time Celaena, Aelin, whoever she is, anytime she says, "My name is Celaena Sardathian, and I will not be afraid." Anytime she says, "My name is Aelin Ashriver Galathinius, and I will not be afraid." This book is relevant. Sam Cortland is relevant. You need to read this book. It also gives like a lot of backstory to other characters who come back throughout the series, like Rolf and Yrene and Briar. Is that her name? No. What is her name? Briarcliff. Ansel. Thank you. You just get all the background on all of those characters. And so I think that this one is important. I don't necessarily think you should start with it. I would put it third, like in reading order, not in ranking. But it's really good. I love Sam. And so for that reason, this is going in my number 5 spot. Coming in at number 4, which is a very respectable ranking, is Heir of Fire. My favorite character in this entire series is Manon, which as I was reading it, I always called her Manon. I understand that that's not how you pronounce her name, and I figured as I start in my YouTube journey, I need to pronounce people's names right. So I'm switching my pronunciation, but it feels wrong in my head. This book is when you first get introduced to Manon. It's when you first get introduced to Abraxas. Abraxos. It's when you first get introduced to Rowan, like king, okay? This one is awesome. There's a lot of growth from Aelin in this book. A lot of growth. A lot. Like, this is like, if you like ACOTAR and you like A Court of Silver Flame, this is like the equivalent of that series. Like, this is Nesta's book in the Throne of Glass series. There is growth here. There's like overcoming self-loathing. Like, this is a good one. And it definitely starts to introduce like the actual conflict in the series. So I love this one. It's coming in at 4th. These last 3 are a toss-up, really. Like, they could honestly go either way, but I've done my best, so don't come for me, okay? In 3rd place, Empire of Storms. This one was really great. I did it as part of the tandem read, okay? And I don't regret that decision because this cliffhanger was gnarly. Like, it was insane, and I don't think I would have been able to actually make it through Tower of Dawn if I had been left on this cliffhanger. Lorcan is my favorite male character in this series. And him and Elide, or Elide, I don't know how, I'm saying Elide, whatever. Him and Elide are like everything to me. Like, they are so cute. I love Lorcan, and he got like a really big part in this book, and you kind of see some like character arc from him, which I appreciate. And so that's the first reason that I love this book. The second is that I grew up on Pirates of the Caribbean. So pirates, it is a mild interest. In this book, there's a couple sea battles. I think that's kind of cool. Like, I like the ship battles. Like, that's fun. It feels like pirates to me. And so that was a fun addition to this book. And also, I think like this is when you really start seeing like how much of a badass Lysandra is. Like, she goes off in this book. Like, she really goes hard in like the fierceness category. And she ends up being also one of my favorite female characters in the series. She has such a great character development in this book, and she really like finds her strength, I feel like, and I love that. I mean, she was strong in all the other books, don't get me wrong. She just like really comes to term with her magical abilities, and I love that for her, and I love that journey. So because of a couple of things here, this comes in at number 3. All right, and number 2, folks. Oh, this book. This book. I think I've already said in this video that Manon is my favorite. She gets a moment in this book, and Asterin, my heart. That plotline, phenomenal. The plotline with Lysandra in this book, I think it's this book, the moment that Lysandra gets in this book, hello, so cool, so well deserved. If you know, you know. Caltaine, the female rage in this book is like So I actually think out of all of the books that I'm like getting goosebumps just talking about this. Out of all of the books that I think maybe I've ever read, this one, The Female Rage, just popped off. I think every female character in this book was so angry, and rightfully so. I love female rage, like, go off queens, like, be angry. I cried at this book. I was angry at this book. I was like devilishly happy at this book. This book comes in second for me because like girl power. All right, we're on the last one. In first place, in a shock to probably literally nobody, Kingdom of Ash. This book shattered me into a million pieces and then put me back together again at the same time. Every single second of this book was just a straight up adventure, a ride. Like, it was like crazy. I feel like there actually wasn't a break in action in this book, ever. There was no slow parts. It's very long, obviously. It's like, wait, let me check. Almost 1,000 pages, and it flew by. Like, it was not slow in any way, shape, or form at any point. It was so incredible, so full of action, so full of like pain, so full of like happiness too. A few of the most iconic book deaths happen in this book. Like the most heart-wrenching book deaths of all time, I think. Genuinely, and not to be dramatic, but genuinely, I think that this book changed my life, and it changed my reading journey. Truly, truly, truly. I will not be the same after reading this book. I think about this book every single day. It is maybe my favorite book of all time because it wrecked me. And like, is it really a good book if it doesn't make you sob uncontrollably for hours? So this wasn't a hard choice. This is my number one. This is my top spot for the Throne of Glass series. This is the best book, in my opinion, in the whole series. You can't change my mind about it. You truly can't. That's my ranking of Throne of Glass. I hope you enjoyed it. If you agree, if you disagree, let me know. But stick around and I'll see you next week. Bye.